Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mock Talk Live with Walk the Mock. It's me, your host, Patrick LB3, joining you for our final stream, our final real-time mock, our final pretty much everything before the actual draft. We're gonna go ahead and actually hop into the room here. It is open now. I'm joined here by Jonathan. How you doing, Jonathan?
Patrick, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good.
Yeah.
You might
Unfortunately,
hear some noise. I got a cough drop in my sore throat, still bothering me. So just have some cough drops to try and help it out.
no worries. I hope you feel better, man. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to nab up my Seahawks, but Chargers will have to do for the mock draft tonight.
Yeah, I had the choice to nab my Bengals that I normally do, but decided to go different ones. I'm picking for the Eagles this time. Get one of those teams with 2 first-round picks. Have a little fun with
Yeah,
it.
that's a good one. I wanted to choose the Chargers just because I feel like during draft day they could possibly actually trade out of that first round pick. Um, and maybe we'll just see how it plays out, who falls in our lap. Um, they're a
It all
team I
depends on who's
like
there.
to trade. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I doubt a good tackle is going to be left there, and they kind of need that right now, right tackle. If Jordan Davis is there, I'll probably take him. Even though it's not really a need, they signed the guy with Sebastian Joseph Day from the Rams free agency, I believe.
Right, but I feel like they're a team that's really been needing that interior guy for a while. Just double up, just really lock it in.
Oh
Get
yeah,
those two
100.
big bodies with Bosa on one side. You're going crazy.
I'm trying to think. Hold on. Who do they used to have actually? Let's see. That's who it was. Yeah, I think their last true stud defensive tackle was Jamal Williams back in the day. I just had to research his name to look it up again, but yeah, I remember he was like lights out back in the day, like Sean Merriman and those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Jordan Davis would probably be very much welcomed into that defense.
I feel like I feel like a wide receiver, one of the top 3 wide receivers, or top 4, depending on however you rank them. It was there. That'd have to be in consideration too, especially one of those speedier guys. Any of the guys that played for Ohio State at one point would be perfect for that offense.
I think a good maybe if he falls to him, maybe David Bell, like the 3rd round, would actually be a good pickup too. All-American from Purdue this past year. I think he'd be a good fit.
I just really think they need some athleticism with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams being their 1 and 2. They really use a guy who can run good routes and can really win down the field because they don't really threaten deep, and I think that really hurts their underneath game and Eckler. So getting someone like a Garrett Wilson or Jameson Williams or even a Chris Olave, I think would be a great pickup.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. If I was in their position, I feel like since you already got 2 really good wide receivers and you got Josh Palmer kind of at the helm, he has shown some, athleticism, and he's a little bit of a smaller wide receiver.
He has, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's someone that they can really trust to be an impact starter.
Yeah, it's going to be hit or miss. Honestly, you're absolutely right.
Right.
That.
So that's why I would look to draft someone like Olave, especially because Keenan Allen's getting up there in age. So it's not they're like locked in long time. I mean, Allen he's 30. He'll be 30. Actually, he literally just turned 30 today. Happy birthday, Keenan Allen.
Yeah, happy birthday, Keenan.
Anyways, yeah. Keenan Allen's getting up there in age. I don't know. Let's look at his contract situation.
Yeah, let's pull it up.
I mean, yeah, they could definitely look to move on from Keenan Allen if they drafted someone like an Olave. That allow them to do it without paying. I mean, Keenan Allen's current contract is pretty rich, I think. I don't know how.
Are you looking it up right now, or did you want me to look it up?
I am looking it up. All right, so he is signed for the next 3 years, and it is a pretty hefty amount per year. It looks like after 2022 they could get out of it for under $7 million dead cap. So that could definitely be something that they look to do because the cap hit in 2024 is $26 million, which for a 32-year-old receiver is pretty high.
Oh yeah, no, I feel like, I mean, should they trade him and potentially maybe if Drake London's there, take him. I mean, I'd be really shocked if he dropped past the top, I'd say 15. But if he's right there at 17, USC
it
guy.
Does seem like out of the top 4 wide receivers that Olave is the most likely to be there at like the Chargers pick.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Because I've been hearing rumblings that Jameson Williams is very coveted among a lot of teams as well, even with the injuries. So, you know,
it really
they could
also
also
any of the top 3 could be the first wide receiver to go, but then it seems and then I don't know. I could see Olave. I feel like Olave's not going to be the first wide receiver, but he could be like 2 or 3. It just seems like there's no talk of him being like number 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. I totally, and I get it. Like, you know, you want to kind of go with what's safe, and I feel like for a lot of people, not speaking for everybody, but Drake London is probably the safest pick for them. Safe,
He's
quote
actually
unquote.
not even like in my top 5 wide receivers.
Fair. I mean, he did show like he can get injured, so it's totally understandable.
Also, he didn't do his athletic testing, which I think probably would have been subpar. So
yeah. I always find it a little weird, like, you know, you see a lot of the guys kind of opting out of it. It's like, are you hiding something, or are you just trying not to
I
get
think
hurt?
he's hiding something. I mean, I think we saw the other 3 top receivers. Jameson Williams didn't test either, but we know that Jameson Williams is a freak athlete without needing to see him test.
100%.
Drake London, we needed to see him test, and we didn't. That just kind of has me being a little skeptical of him.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, I don't know. There's a lot. I don't know where I'm exactly going to draft that when 17 pops up. I wouldn't mind getting John Mechie too. I feel like he's a very undervalued wide receiver. He actually had a pretty solid career at Alabama too. I know he's also coming back from an injury as well, but I don't know. I mean, that's a speedster as well.
I wouldn't say he's a speedster. I'd say he's like a high 4 and a 4s, maybe like mid 4.5s kind of guy.
Directional speed, maybe.
Mechie seems kind of like the most like all right receiver. You know what I mean? Like he's like he's like a good wide receiver too. Right? He's like a Michael Gallup instead of like like a DK Metcalf.
Fair.
Or a CD.
Definitely not DK.
He's like he could be like the Gallup to a Lamb, but he's not going to be
fair. I can feel you.
Where
do you think we'll trade one of your picks?
I'm looking to, because I want to move up for one of those receivers. I'll play my hand right here, because I don't think that I think the Eagles want a wide receiver. I don't think they're going to be there at 15. I got 2 third-round picks. I'm going to look to bundle one of those up with pick 15 to see if we can't swing up to get one of those wide receivers.
Fair. No chance that you try to go trade up to get Hutch, huh?
No, too much. Not worth it. Not worth it. They need.
You only have one pick the whole draft.
Yeah. I'll trade you 15, 18, 19, and other 19 for pick number 2, I guess. Because probably not number 1 pick. Probably
I'd like for us to add players in here. I think that'd be awesome if we could do that. I told Tim about that a couple years ago, actually, but it's competed.
What are you talking about?
Like to be able to actually trade players in him.
Oh yeah, that would be tough. There's no way.
Yeah, there's a lot. I know. It could probably get real glitchy too, honestly.
Right. It'd be really easy to just break everything with it. Just like, oh yeah, I'll trade you Aaron Rodgers for 30 picks.
Fantasy Island. I wonder who the Jags take here. Either, Trayvon
it seems
Walker.
like we might get an auto pick to start off here. Kind of concerning.
Just
hopefully we got plenty of people here actually doing their draft live. If you're here, if you're in the comments and you're like drafting, go ahead and like call out. We'll shout you out. Sorry, I'm eating cough drops. My throat hurts. Don't know. I already said that once, but some people probably want to hear it. All right, here we go.
Who is it?
If it's an auto draft, I'm assuming.
Oh, it's Hutch. Yeah, I've heard rumblings that that's not going to happen anymore, and rightfully so. I think
Walker's the odds-on favorite now.
Yeah, no, and if I'm the Jags, I'm trading out of that number 1 spot. I really am, because this is the first draft. I don't know how you feel, Patrick, but this is the first draft that I actually don't know a lot. Like, I know a lot, but I don't know, if that makes sense. Like, I don't have those gut feelings like I usually do in the draft. Like this guy's
weird for me as a all right, the team's there. All right. We've heard some rumblings of that. I don't know. I normally feel very comfortable with my own team's pick. We're trying to swing and trade with your Seahawks. I normally feel pretty comfortable with my own team's pick. because like they're only picking like top 5, so like I know who's gonna be there. You know what I mean? But now with them picking at 31, it's like okay, there could be like 10 different people who will or won't be there. We are flying through these picks, going good now. Sauce there at 3. There's been some rumblings of them taking Stingley, but Sauce is definitely in play there. We've heard some Ekwonu talk for the Jets. That makes sense. It's a good pickup. Slot him at left guard. Maybe put him out to left tackle if Becton doesn't work out this year. Flying through Giants. This seems like an offensive tackle. Evan Neal. Yeah. All right.
Evan Neal's a great pickup.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, do you move Andrew Thomas to right tackle?
I don't know. I feel like Evan Neal can kind of move the boat, can do both, but I don't know. I guess you just kind of have to see. I'd feel more comfortable with Evan Neal playing right tackle than trying to move Andrew Thomas because he already kind of went through some growing pains last year.
No, for sure. You almost wonder the guy who's controlling Brett, who's controlling the Giants, if the Panthers don't take Malik Willis, do they think about taking him at that position?
I feel like wide receiver has to be the move, or even Travon Walker, if who depending on who gets taken here. Or Stingley. Could see Stingley too.
This is a unicorn draft because I don't think Travon Walker's making it past the third pick.
I don't know here's the thing. If he doesn't go at 1, I could see it.
Whoa,
but
that's a wow.
Trevor Penning. Wow, that's rich.
Wow. The turd emoji.
I don't even really see Trevor Penning as like a top 20 talent. So little rich for me.
Eek. Wow.
He's like a borderline top 20 talent. All right, so they have Travon Walker on the board. They have their wide receiver of choices on the board. So let's see where they go.
I feel like the Giants have so many holes. Like there's just so many.
They need to just build around Daniel Jones though for this year, just to see if
they need it.
If he can be it. That's what they need to do. Is figure out
can Daniel Jones
Eli. Be it.
They need to bring back Eli. That's what they need to do.
They just I think their first 2 picks should be offense. They picked Travon Walker, which that's fair.
There it is.
You gotta end that ball.
Yeah, go ahead and pick.
Oh, the Vikings came up here, traded with the Falcons.
Oh man,
are they going for Stingley? Maybe.
You know, Kyle Hamilton. I feel like they're going Kyle Hamilton.
I bet they're coming up for Stingley. I think it's Stingley. Oh, you're right, Kyle Hamilton.
You got to think about it. You know, Harrison Smith is not getting any younger, and
I've seen a lot of Stingley to Vikings talk. I've heard that's who they really want, but they don't think he's going to get there anymore.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I remember a couple years ago the Vikings took who was that TCU cornerback? It ended up not working out. But
Jeff Gladney, I think he's with the Cardinals now. Didn't he get cut for some kind of off-field domestic violence issue or something crazy? Yeah, it was
off the field issues. Patrick, hopefully he represents my team well. Maybe he trades down. That's a typical John Snyder move.
I'm literally trying to trade down with him right now, but I don't think he's going to take it. He might not be here. We'll see.
Dang, who do I like? I mean, I could trade up for the pick, actually.
All right, I'm gonna try and do my trade up here for the Jets then. Give up 319.
The pick is in. Who is it? Malik Willis. Oh,
Charles Cross. I love the pick for the Seahawks, though.
Yeah, I do. Honestly, if I'm going to be honest with you, if I could have a quarterback of my choice, like draft and team-wise, I'd want to trade for Baker Mayfield. I feel like he just has that grit, man, and I feel like
if I had to have if my team needed a quarterback and this was the offseason they needed it, I would just punt. I just punt it to next year. I'm not. There's no one I like. Baker. There's nothing good.
I would throw him a 3rd-round pick for Baker. 3rd-round pick and
if you could do that, maybe. But I mean, is Drew Lock really that much worse than Baker? Well, I honestly don't think so.
For me, Baker has a playoff win. He's been in the playoffs, like Drew.
Come on,
he's
Jets. I sent you an offer. You said you wanted
to
trade Jets. Jets, you liar.
Wait, where do you see the chat room at, by the way? I'm trying to find that.
Those Jets, they lied to me. They said we could trade for a 3rd-round pick.
Oh, never mind. I see it. There's a chat room.
It says room chat. It's not chat room. All right, let's try and get.
Oh, room
I want to
chat.
get ahead
Oh,
of the
there you go.
Falcons now. So come on, Washington, give me a trade. I'm trying to get ahead of the Falcons here. I want Garrett Wilson. Pair up Garrett Wilson with Devonta
Oh,
Smith.
you did trade up.
I did. All right, there we go. We're getting Garrett Wilson, baby. You know, let's just go crazy. We're trading up again.
Who you trading with?
We're gonna try and trade with the Falcons.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna actually
let's
trade
see.
up.
Are you trying to trade up ahead of me? All right, Falcons. I'm trying to trade with you now. We're just going crazy. The Eagles are just going insane. They're just going for straight talent right now. I love Garrett Wilson to the Eagles, though. I think that's a great fit. You know, pairing with Devonta Smith, he's a crazy athlete. Play opposite from him. You know, I love it.
Houston, we have an offer. Hopefully he accepts it. Maybe he doesn't. I mean, I think that's fair. First, a fifth, and a third next year for the 13th pick, and they get my 17th pick. We'll see. Does Houston accept it? Houston, I sent you a trade offer.
All right, who are the Falcons picking? Derek Stingley. I was gonna try and trade it for Stingley, but they took him, so I'm pulling out my trade. I was gonna trade with the Texans, get out ahead of you.
Oh wow, is the Texans? Oh wow, I don't think they're gonna take my offer. Oh well.
They reject it. Oh.
He traded it to the Patriots.
You got outbid, baby. Oh.
What did they give up?
Yeah, we'll look and see what the trade was. The trade was they got a third round pick. So yeah, it was way better than your trade.
I did offer him a third rounder, but it was next year, and I threw in a fifth.
Well, yeah, but in this mock they don't get to make the pick. You got to make picks with.
Yeah,
you got to make trades with picks that they get in this mock.
Well, I guess I got to trade. I guess I got to trade down now. I mean.
Well, you don't have to. There's still plenty of guys on the board. Chris Olave, Jordan Davis are still on the board.
You got Treylon Burks too. We were talking wide receiver. Interesting.
Well, that's why I was talking about Olave. McDuffie.
You think
Whoa. That he's trading up for McDuffie.
That's a reach.
Whoa. That is a reach.
That's a basketball style reach too, my guy.
Thanks, Joel. Hey, look, Joel's shouting me out here. This is a good pick. Thanks, Joel. Joel is our true OG.
Yes, Joel. Thank you.
All right. You got 3 picks. I'd say your biggest risk of Olave being gone is the Saints at 16.
You know, I'm gonna trade down. If Olave's gone,
don't trade down yet. See, well, you gotta consider Jordan Davis.
Yeah, I gotta see where Olave's at. I do like.
I watch Olave and Davis. Those are who you're looking for.
How can I not like Olave? Homeboy's from San Diego. Like, come on now.
Oh, I didn't know where he's from. He's from Columbus now.
Yeah, yeah, man. He was from San Ysidro. I didn't find out about this till like last year, but I was like, oh wow.
Well, players are from all over.
Yeah.
Right,
Jermaine Johnson. Ooh.
That's pretty far fall compared to I think where he's going to end up going on draft night. We're not as high on him though, so it's not surprising.
I would not be surprised if the Seahawks try to reach for Jermaine Johnson. I don't know what it is. I just feel like that's like something.
I've heard that. There's been some talk that the Jets might be interested in him at 4 or 10.
That's wild. That is wild.
4, yeah. There's talk that they like him more than Tibbs at 4.
No offense to Jet fans, but leave it up to the Jets to mess up having 2 top 10 picks.
I don't know if they haven't messed it up yet.
Yeah, I don't know if I would take Jermaine that early. That's like to me is like 15-ish range. You know, he's the teens. He's not. You know, in the top 10.
Right.
Jordan Davis. Watch this pick be Jordan Davis.
Well, here's the thing. If it's not Davis or Olave, then one of those two is going to be there at 17.
Oh.
Ooh, it is Olave, though. Davis might still be there. The Saints might not be interested.
Who wants to trade down with me? Can they
Go to the room chat.
Trade. trade with me, someone. Wow, I'm gonna be really handicapped if the freaking Saints get Jordan Davis.
That's true.
I mean, yeah. Eek. Eek. I mean, do you go best player available and get Nakobe Dean? Like, because
I've heard talk that Quay Walker's going to go top 20 and Nakobe Dean may follow the first. I still like Nakobe Dean way more than Quay Walker. It's not even close.
100%. I'm a huge fan of Nakobe Dean. Whoever put the Devin Bush.
I'm not a fan of Quay Walker. I don't get it.
Whoever put the Devin Bush comparison was spot on.
I wasn't a big fan of Devin Bush. Ooh.
Wow.
Right in the heart of the Chargers. This board could shake out like this, honestly.
No, it really could.
Although I really doubt Malik Willis is still here. I feel like there's gonna be a trade up from Malik Willis. These real time mocks always have Malik Willis falling because people just don't like trading quarterbacks.
Wow. Anybody want to trade with me? No. Guess not.
You could still take Drake London. Still on the board.
Eesh. Yeah, I could. But you know what? We're going for the future at the linebacking core. Mr. Nakobe Dean, welcome to the Los Angeles Chargers.
I've been sent a trade offer. The Dolphins are trying to trade me my first round pick for their third and 2 first round picks next year. No. You took the Dolphins. You have to deal with not having any picks. Alright. Where are we going here with the Eagles? I got sent another trade offer. Is it just the Dolphins again? I know the Texans. You know what? I like this offer. I'm gonna accept it. I traded down. Traded down with 1 pick, gave up a third, traded down with the other one, got back up 4th. So it's worked out pretty well for me. They do Drake London, who I didn't even want. Perfect. All right.
Packers, I sent you a deal. I don't know if you'll take it. You get 2 picks this. Obviously, I don't know. We'll see.
Where's your next pick's not for a while, is it?
It's a 3rd, 4th. I just sent him a 3rd, 4th, a 2nd next year, and a 4th next year. Probably won't have much impact, obviously, but maybe something you could see. Maybe they try to trade back into the 1st round and get a wide receiver, maybe, or even not a corner. My bad. Wide receiver and Eder.
No, I feel like the Chargers could really get some solid. There's some solid wide receiver prospects in the 3rd, 4th round this year. I would be totally down with getting one of those guys. If I was the Chargers, you've missed on the top 4, top 3 in the 1st.
Jahan Dotson. I mean, that's a good pick.
I don't like Dotson. He's more like the 80th ranked guy to me.
Pick is in for the Steelers.
Let's see who they took. It has to be Malik Willis, right? No, he probably is going to fall like 80. Let's see. Did they take him? Nope, they took Devontae Wyatt. See, Malik Willis always falls in these, and he's not going to. The real-time mocks hate drafting Malik Willis. So I traded down a little bit.
Boy, if you're the Titans in this mock draft, how have you not traded it to get Malik Willis? That's my question.
Because Ryan Tannehill is probably a better prospect than Malik Willis. Oh, I got sent a trade offer. Is it the Dolphins again?
The Fins.
No, it's the Vikings. No, I don't want a first next year. I don't get to use that. We're just going to take Arnold Ebiketie. I'm a big fan of Ebiketie. I spoiled it, but yeah, there you go. I took Arnold Ebiketie here at number 21.
Oh, wow.
I'm a fan.
Packers, I sent you a trade. I don't know if you're going to take it.
I don't know, man. It's not a lot for that pick. It's a little light. I don't think they're going to take it.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Boy, Packers got a decent haul for Devontae Adams.
Honestly, they probably should have gotten more, but
it went when you have a great quarterback like Rodgers. It's like how much of it's them and how much of it's Rodgers. Because I mean, Devontae was kind of nothing the first 2 years in the NFL, and then he kind of started catching fire.
Well, yeah, because he developed.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was pretty solid at Fresno State. I mean, I remember him and Derek Carr torched San Diego State quite a bit. So,
Karlaftis there. Now, some talk of him falling. I don't know if I believe it or not.
Yeah,
I don't know if I believe it.
He's a Greek, right?
Huh? George Karlaftis? I don't know.
I think he's Greek. The Greek Freak 2.0.
He is kind of freakish. He's not quite Greek freak. Not quite Antetokounmpo.
Dang, trade was rejected. Apologies.
Not surprising.
Was a little light. I think I would have been more surprised if it got accepted.
He was a Greek. You are correct.
Yes. George Karlaftis, yeah.
Sounds pretty.
Oh my God. Tyler Linderbaum is still there. Oh my God. Best prospect interior lineman, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Best interior lineman. For sure.
Some people may try to say Kenyon Green or maybe even...
I would say Zion Johnson's more getting talk than Kenyon Green.
Yeah.
Kenyon did not test very well. Not very well at all.
Yeah, the testing to me, it's like hit or miss because it's like Orlando Brown tested awful. Look at what a stud he is at left tackle now. He's like
but there's also it's not you don't want to bet on outliers.
No, of course not. No. Yeah, if we're doing like a bell curve, I would definitely say outliers for sure. But I mean, you got to think about it too. There have been plenty of guys that have tested poorly and have gone on. I mean, Antonio Brown tested bad.
Not really that many guys who tested poorly go on. Those are the outliers.
Yeah.
You don't want to bet on outliers. You're not going to get them very often.
That's kind of hard to go off college success too, because we've seen a lot of guys flounder at the NFL level that had a lot of college success.
I mean, I'd say you generally want to go with guys who are athletic and successful in college, and you're going to have more hits that way.
Fair.
That makes a ton of sense.
It does. Definitely would have gone Linderbaum in that position, but makes sense.
They need a guard more than they needed center, though, and I'd rather keep Linderbaum at center.
Fair. Yeah, because Tyler Biadasz, I mean, he's pretty for where they got him, for where the Cowboys got him. He's a very solid pickup, obviously.
Yeah, they lost Connor Williams in free agency, who wasn't really starting anymore. He was kind of he was off and on with Connor McGovern, but neither of them were playing that well. So
yeah,
swapping out Zion in
Connor,
swapping Terrence Steele in at right tackle over Lyle Collins. Pretty different looking offensive line.
So if you were to draft Linderbaum, you wouldn't move him at all.
No, definitely don't move him off the center. No way.
There. Do you know how many snaps he's gotten outside of the center position at all, by any chance?
I do not.
There. There was this one YouTuber. He's a Panthers guy. He has the snaps at each position. He did that for the his top 10 tackles, and I was like, wow, that's actually very informative.
Mm-hmm.
What do the Bucks do? Oh, there it is. Titans take Linderbaum.
Yeah,
that's realistic.
Wow, I've seen a lot of talk of defensive tackle for the Bucks, or maybe a safety. You could see him go like Logan Hall or one of the safeties here.
How many picks did the Bucks got? I only think they got 5, right?
I'm not sure. I don't think they've done a ton of trading, so I think they would have most of their original picks.
Let's see who they get. Kenyon Green. All right. I mean, I'd say he's at first round.
Movement for Ali Marpet or Alex Kappa. They did lose both of their guards in free agency.
So the Bucks have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks, and wow. I mean, you probably know this is probably Brady's last year. Would you trade up?
No. they need depth too. I mean, you could see the lack of depth really hurting them when they got into the playoffs and all their wide receivers were hurt. I mean, they could really add some more depth to their whole team, honestly.
That's fair. Would you tamper into next year's picks to trade up potentially to keep some of the picks for this year?
If they're going to trade up, I think it would be for next year's picks, because who knows if is probably Brady's last ride. Who knows?
But man.
Probably.
That man is unbelievable. We're never going to see another athlete like that, I think, in our lifetime.
Most definitely not. I mean, he said he was going to play until he was 45. Everyone thought he was crazy, but he's doing it. So,
yeah, dude, he's doing it, man. He said that 5 years ago. Lewis, you know what? That's a good pickup for.
I really like Cine. He's probably my second favorite safety in the draft. I'm a big fan.
Because I'm a bigger fan of Jalen Petrie, just because you could kind of put him in the slot. But
I mean, you can put Cine in the slot, but the thing is that Cine can play over top, and I think out of the remaining safeties after Hamilton, he's the only one that can do that of like the top 5. I mean. Obviously, there's later on guys who can play over top. But I don't think Petrie, Hill, Brisker, I don't think any of those guys can really play over top. And I think that's a lot more valuable than being a box safety. If you're good at it.
You know who I feel could be really deadly in the later rounds is I like Vernon McKinley, but I also like Marquise Bell too. I like Marquise Bell a lot. I mean, I watched film on him, and it's like this guy was like everywhere the ball was.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Hall,
Logan Hall went there.
You think he's a first-round pick?
Borderline. Like, probably like a 25 to 35 would be my guess. Actually, probably like 27 to, I don't know, like down like the mid-second, probably. I feel like my ceiling is the Bucks pick, I would say. The Bucks are ceiling, I guess.
My biggest, I don't know. I feel like out of all the defensive tackles that have came out of Houston, I feel like my favorite one was probably Ed Oliver. But I don't know. Maybe Logan Hall balls out. Maybe he could take that,
I mean, but he doesn't have to be as good as Ed Oliver to be worth a 27th pick, because Ed Oliver is a top 10 pick.
Oh, yeah. Ed Oliver was a stud. He still is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved Ed Oliver.
Anchor, I think, on that defensive line for the Bills.
Oh, yeah. He's a
Tyler
good player.
Smith.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, from a Bengals perspective, you don't like that pick?
No, I hate it. They don't really. I don't feel comfortable about moving Tyler Smith to guard, and they are set on tackle. They're good at tackle, so I hate the pick.
Yeah, they got Jonah Williams, and then who else did they got?
La'el Collins.
Yes, you're right.
So I hate when people mock him Tyler Smith or any offensive tackle. If you want to mock him an interior guy, I get it, but mock him in a tackle just doesn't make any sense to me.
I feel they should go corner in that position. Maybe Kaiir Elam or
Elam's long gone.
Yeah.
I probably, if I was in that position, I probably would have gone Kyler Gordon.
Yeah. I would have traded down at that point, honestly.
I mean, I would probably try to trade down, but if I was stuck there, I'd go Kyler Gordon. I think he's a borderline first-round guy, so getting him there wouldn't be the end of the world. I also would have considered like a Daxton Hill or Ojabo there. But I think I would have gone Kyler Gordon there. I feel like, though, with Malik Willis there at 31, which obviously that's not going to happen, but in theory, Malik Willis at 31 would mean an easy trade down.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Pick is in. See who the Jags take.
Devin Lloyd.
Devin Lloyd. Wow. Great value.
There's been some talk with him and Lloyd and Dean sliding because of some medical issues, some size issues, some athleticism questions.
Is there any chance that the Jags trade back into the first round?
I mean, sure, why not? But they really need talent. They're just devoid of talent, so I think that they're just going to stand pat.
I mean, they went after it in free agency. They kind of overpaid for Christian Kirk, but I liked a couple of their other signings.
They need a lot of long-term starters, so I feel like it makes sense for them to stay put. Pickens went there to the Lions. That's a pretty common pick. It's okay. Kyler Gordon there to the Jets. I mean, it's fine. It's a fine pickup. We're on to the Giants. They came out of the first round with Evan Neal and Travon Walker. Didn't get a wide receiver yet. Sky Moore is sitting there. That could be interesting. Could be a good pickup. I kind of like that fit.
I'm trying to think. Let's see. I'm trying to see who all the Jags signed this offseason. It's been a couple weeks since I've looked. I know they addressed interior offensive line with Brandon Sheriff. I'd say my favorite signing was actually Foyosade Olokun, linebacker from.
That was kind of rich to me.
You know what? A very undervalued linebacker, especially in that Atlanta Falcons defense. Like he was a stud, and he's an Ivy League guy too. So maybe that IQ for football is also there, big time.
Just seems like a lot. Seems like a lot for him. Ojbo there for the Texans, which they aren't really competing this year, so they can give him some time to recover.
For sure.
Jets with another pick.
You think the Jags make the playoffs this year?
No. Absolutely not. I mean, it's a weak division, so they could. Actually, it's not that weak of a division anymore. No, I don't know, because Titans are pretty good, and now the Colts will have Matt Ryan, who's been a big upgrade over
Carson Wentz.
Yeah. It's not a bad division, actually.
People may call me crazy, but I think the Jags make the playoffs this year. I really do.
And the Texans are nothing, but I don't know. They got two tough competitors in their division who I think would make the playoffs before them pretty easily.
I think we may see a Trevor Lawrence sophomore surge. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised about that.
We might, but I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it.
Let's see the Bears take here. Their first pick, right? First pick of the draft. Ooh, Boye Mafe. That's a good pick.
That's a solid value there for sure.
I feel like a certain point past the second round, you're going best player available.
I feel like in round 2, you're still trying to get starters. I feel like once you're in round 3, that's when you're kind of more okay getting like developmental guys. In round 2, I'm still looking for starters.
Like even late for second round?
I'm still looking for a starter until the third round starts.
Fair. Speaking of late second round picks that turn into starters, DK Metcalf, you think he stays at the Seahawks?
At least this season, yeah. Beyond this year, I don't know. Isn't he on last year of his rookie deal?
Yeah, he is.
So I don't know
what I really like.
Season. They could franchise him and trade him away. But I don't think he's traded it before this year.
I'd be really surprised if they did.
I think they'll try to keep him, but in the end, it'll just be he has to decide. Sam Howell for the Seahawks. You said you wanted Baker Mayfield. That's pretty much Baker Mayfield. I mean, it's not,
that's that's like a Baker Mayfield equivalent.
Yeah, it's like a Baker Mayfield equivalent. They really don't play. A lot of people called them similar because they're both short white guys that had beards at one point.
Sam's more athletic.
Sam's a lot more athletic, and I don't think they really played that similar. I feel like Sam was a lot more. The system didn't do as much work for him.
No, I think out of all the quarterbacks, I'm taking Malik Willis hands down. He's my number one guy. But if I had to say safest pick, I had to say Sam Howell because he's a 4-year starter. And the only reason why he's gotten worse is the team around him has progressively gotten worse.
He's a 3-year starter.
Yeah, 3-year starter, my bad. 3-year starter.
And his true freshman season was as good as Trevor Lawrence's true freshman season. And then that team just kept taking a nosedive. Like every year they just lost talent.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that UNC was actually playing for the ACC championship against Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, he had a great freshman season, then just kind of petered off. Doesn't quite have the tools of Lawrence. He's not a Lawrence. He's not as athletic. He's not as big of an arm. and he
not
didn't
at all.
continually get better in college, which I wouldn't argue Trevor Lawrence didn't either, really. But he actually got worse, whereas Trevor Lawrence at least stayed pat.
Yeah, Lawrence outside of that natty, I mean, he kind of just stayed, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he never really improved. He was just always like good.
Ooh, Cam Taylor Britt.
I know, it seems like a Seahawks kind of pick.
It does. Tell me why it does. I never feel to get disappointed anymore. I really don't.
I don't know. I feel like I could see the Seahawks take quarterback in like the second round with one of those 8-9 picks.
I would love
if I had to pick the safest quarterback, I'd go Zap. Who's my number one quarterback is Bailey Zapp. I don't think any of them are starters. So I'm saying that he's like my favorite quarterback, and he's like a backup, career backup.
It's funny that you bring that up. I was actually going to say I wouldn't mind us taking him in like the 3rd round or 4th round.
I could see it, grabbing Zapp's range feels like perfect for like the 4th round. You grab him when Locke sucks, you throw him in. He's good for a game or two. Earns like a backup contract for the rest of his life.
I mean, look, like he broke the single season record for touchdowns and yards. And
I talked about this in the last stream. They pulled him like 30 yards short of 6,000. I was so angry.
Yeah, no, that would have been like video game type stuff. You know what I mean? And
he was 30 yards short of 6,000 in the bowl game, and they pulled him. Why? That's so stupid.
Would you say his pro comp is Case Keenum, who was also a record setter?
No, Keenum. No, I wouldn't say so. Pro comp. Maybe like I mean, obviously these are like poor man's version, because I'm going to compare him to people who are like starters. I'm not going to like think of backups. But like play style wise, he kind of reminds me of like Matt Ryan. Obviously, he's not as good as Matt Ryan. He's not as good as Matt Ryan. Yeah. But just the way he plays kind of reminds me of Matt Ryan.
Do you think he's kind of a sitting duck a little bit?
He is a little bit of a sitting duck. He isn't that great of a mover, but I mean, I feel like pocket movement's something that will not very many college guys come out with. What guys can really maneuver and control the pocket that well coming out?
Lamar.
None. No, he couldn't really control the pocket. He could get out of the pocket.
Yeah, he could just get out of it. No, fair.
I wouldn't say that's really a skill that's taught in college anymore. I would say any guys who have it kind of really developed it in the pros. They just kind of go crazy back there. I would say Burrow did it okay coming out, but also he would just step into pressure sometimes. These guys just aren't that great. I would say that's something that really has to develop, but you don't have to be that great of an athlete to be able to avoid pressure in the pocket. We've seen with Brady and Big Ben, all these guys that could avoid pressure in the pocket, but didn't do it by being a great athlete. And I think Zach could do that. Just give him some time. I feel like he's a good backup. His arm isn't the best. I would say it's good enough that he could succeed in the NFL, but he'd really have to. It's an uphill battle. But
he's a definition of a system quarterback.
I wouldn't say he's a system quarterback. He's a quarterback that needs to be perfect, right? Like he doesn't have a big arm.
The reason why he succeeded in college was because of the system. Because Western Kentucky is like airing it out all the time.
They were, and I mean, he came from Houston Baptist, where he had some great numbers.
Yes, yeah, transferred starter.
Right. I think that if you give him an offense that, and just ask him to execute that offense, he'll be able to do that. As long as you're not asking him to do these, cross field out routes. You're asking him to throw it over the middle, get up the seam, stuff like that. I think he'll be able to succeed. He'd be able to succeed. So it really just depends on fit and what they ask him to do, and how much of it is on his shoulders. You ask him to come back down 14 constantly, he's probably not going to do well.
Who do you think has a better arm, him or Taylor Heineke?
I don't know. I have not watched Taylor Heineke.
I mean, I did. He played the Seahawks this past year, so I kind of had to watch him.
I don't know. I didn't really watch much Taylor Heineke. I mean, you comparing him guys in this class, he has a weaker arm than all the top guys. I wouldn't say it's that much weaker though than the Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell tiers. Fair. I'd say that there's a couple throws that maybe those guys could make that Zap couldn't, but if he's getting the ball, if he's seeing the open guy earlier and getting it there earlier, then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, Commanders go Desmond Ridder in this pick.
I like it.
I think he gets taken a lot sooner, though.
I don't know. We're only halfway through the second. I don't know if he would go in the first. So
I've heard rumblings that people would be willing to trade up for later first round. You know what I mean?
I don't know. There's so much. You hear rumblings of everything. You hear rumblings that no quarterbacks go in the first round. You hear rumblings that 6 quarterbacks go in the first round. Everyone's just throwing out whatever they feel like these days. It's the day before the draft. Literally everything you read is a lie.
It's a lie.
Everything's a lie except what isn't. Good luck.
It's a lie.
Oh, I got sent a trade offer. I saw it on the stream page. What are they offering me? I don't want earlier picks. If anything, I'm trading back at this point. I like my first 2 picks. If anything, I'm trading back right now.
Leo Chanel, that's a good pick. Dang, Matt Corral's still there.
Not bad. He is our last top quarterback though.
Breece Hall is going to be a steal at running back.
I do like Breece Hall. I don't understand how he's not like around. If like Clyde Edwards-Helaire is like talked about as a first round guy, I don't know why Breece Hall isn't.
Exactly.
Talent-wise, I'd say he's way better.
I think he's the best running back in this draft. I mean, Breece Hall.
Oh, it's not even close.
He's got tread on his tires for sure, but like I think he's still a very good running back.
I mean, like who went in the first round last year at running back?
Travis Etienne.
Yeah, like he's as good as Travis Etienne. I like Etienne, but
I think he's better. I think he's way better because I don't think Travis got All-American twice, right?
Well, I don't care about that though. I would say as a prospect, he's as good.
Fair. I don't know. For me personally, when I kind of scout players, I do go off college production a little bit, just because I do believe like if you were to do like a bell curve, there is some correlation. There's some guys that come out of nowhere, you know.
Well, yeah,
outliers.
But it's all just a piece of the pie.
Yeah, for sure. It's where they go to.
Pie. You know, you could have one piece of the pie that is gross and disgusting. Another piece of pie it's delicious.
Fair.
You don't know. It's a mixed up pie.
I like to have my slice. You know, I don't know about the whole pie.
You gotta have a whole pie. You're not getting. You take one slice. You're not getting enough. You're not getting enough info about the pie.
It's like Pringles. You can't have one.
I'm gonna go with Troy Anderson here.
That's a great pick.
I like him a lot. I'm a big fan of Troy Anderson.
I'm a huge.
I almost like him just as much, if not more, than Dean and Lloyd.
He's like the Shohei Ohtani of like college football in the FCS because he literally was like a Swiss Army knife. He played running back, he was a quarterback, and then they moved him to linebackers last year. Dude's a stud.
Christian Watson going pretty late here.
Yeah, that's a guy who I think rose on a lot of people's draft boards after his combine. Stud. Ooh, that's a. Do you take that trade?
Wait. So I'm
did they
moving
mess up?
I'm gonna take it because that's literally just a net positive.
Oh, they just messed up big time.
They just lost to Lions. If you're listening, you can send me another trade offer if you want to like trade back, if you want to swap it. But if not, I'm just gonna keep it. Maybe he just wanted to pick like in the second round and then or in the third round and be done. He didn't want to wait until 3:33.
maybe he's like, I just want to be done with this. Abraham Lucas.
Rich, but Packers are good at development at least.
I mocked him to the Seahawks. I'd love for him to stay in the Pacific Northwest. New England Patriots select John Mechie.
That's a Patriots pick right there.
That is a Patriots pick because they're going to develop him, probably trade him for a first rounder next year. Actually, the Patriots have trouble developing wide receivers. I take that back.
Okay, I'll trade you back, Lions. I traded it back to them. It seemed like they messed up, so swap back.
They did.
All right.
What do you think about Alec Pierce? You like him?
I like him just as much as Christian Watson, who's going like 10, 15 picks higher on average.
Fair. Dang, my legs are so achy, man. Oof.
They're both these like height, weight, speed guys, which I'm normally
Yes.
not a fan of.
Tariq Whalen's long gone, right?
Tariq Woolen?
Yeah.
No, he's still here.
Nice.
I think. Yeah, there he is. 50. He's our 55th prospect. Where are the Cowboys going here? They picked up Zion Johnson in the first round. They could use an edge. I don't know if there's any edges really good here. They could pick up Marvin Leal. Wouldn't be a bad pickup. Gotta give him a little versatile guy. Cameron Thomas. Pick up a linebacker too. We still got Chad Muma here. Chad Muma.
Texans, I sent you a trade.
Who we got? They did pick up Chad Muma. They listened to me. Matt Corral still sitting here.
Oh.
They did not accept your trade. They rejected that right away. Nope.
Damn it. They took the guy I wanted. Yeah. I feel like him and Austin Eckler would be like 1 and 2 because Eckler's had some injury issues prior to, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I feel like what better if it would be Kenneth Walker though. More power.
Yeah.
Kind of goes perfectly with Austin Eckler. Give more thunder and lightning than lightning and lightning. Don't farm, good value there. All right, Packers are on the board. Jaquan Brisker still sitting here. That'd be a good value pick here. Or DeMarvin Leal still. Could go cornerback. Got a couple guys. Did they grab a wide receiver in the first round? They did not. Could go with Alec Pierce. That'd be a pretty sweet pickup. Could go with one of the tight ends. Got a lot of options if they're picking or if they're auto picking.
Dang. Corral is still here. That is...
Wow. Well, who's going to pick him coming up? No one in the next 5 picks needs a quarterback. 6 picks, 7 picks because the Lions picked one.
Maybe the Bucks, but they got Kyle
definitely not the Bucks. I would say the Falcons probably be the next chance. Bucks got to Marvin Leal, good value. All right, 49ers coming up with Nick Cross. Solid prospect, maybe a little early. Seems
Definitely
like
a little
reaction to. It seems like they wanted Brisker and he went off the board, so they took Cross. Chiefs up. Right back, Grant. Jonathan. I'm over at Grant. Jonathan, you talk about this for a minute. I need to go get some water, okay?
No worries. Man. Oh, let's go. Let's see what the pick is. Bengals, Nick Benito. That's actually a pretty solid pickup, I think, for edge. I mean, I do believe he's still got Sam Hubbard. Sam Hubbard's still there. Sam Hubbard. Yeah, he's still there. Nick Benito's a good solid pickup. Let's see. Surprised nobody has traded it for Matt Corral. Coral.
All right. Hello, welcome back. Me. Welcome back, me.
Welcome back.
All right.
Patrick.
What I missed? Martin Emerson, good pick. Nick Benito, that's a good pick for the Bengals. They redeemed the terrible Tyler Smith pick.
Christian Harris, solid. Don't
love it. I like that he went after Troy Anderson and Chad Bowman. That isn't always the case. They disagree with because I think they're both way better.
There's no way he gets picked up before them.
I don't know.
I'd be really surprised. If I was a betting man, I'd say no.
You know what? I wish I could bet. I'm in Ohio. We aren't allowed to do sports betting until the 1st of next year, which is before the combine and the draft, which I'm excited about because I've always wanted to do some combine and draft props because there's always some easy money. There's one this year that I really wish I could get on. It's over. It's cornerbacks taken in the first round. It's over under 4.5. The over seems like such an easy win.
Yeah, because you got Sauce. You got
Stingley, McGuffey. You got Elam. Then you just have to hope that two of Elam and Gordon or Booth go in the first. I would say it's a pretty good bet. And it's almost even. It's like minus 140. I would put so much money on that. But can't because, sports betting laws. Fun.
They're terrible. Terrible. They take the fun out of things.
They do. Well, It'll be legal this time next year. So if there's another one like that next year, I'll be able to get in on it.
Who do I go after?
Oh, yeah, you're up.
Definitely don't need a quarterback.
You didn't get a wide receiver earlier, so you could go Alec Pierce here. This is probably around the range where I like him.
I could do Alec Pierce.
He's kind of fun, Alec Pierce.
Calvin Austin's kind of fun, too. He's that speedster guy we were talking about.
You have 5 seconds. Make a pick.
I'm
guessing you went with Calvin Austin then.
Yeah, because we were talking about speed earlier, and I feel like Calvin Austin's faster than Alec Pierce, obviously, but
I mean, he is. You're not wrong.
Maybe I don't know. I feel like that may be a pick that you're kicking yourself because Alec Pierce, I think, is a very good wide receiver too.
I don't know. The second round, like height, weight, speed guys, how often do they work out?
You're talking to the wrong guy though, because I'm a Seahawks fan and DK was exactly that guy because he had
no. DK and Metcalf was not height, weight, speed. He was an elite prospect that should never have fallen out of the first round. That was so stupid. His was elite.
I remember seeing a little thing saying he was going to fall out of the top 10. I didn't think the first round altogether. And I was thinking why, and they said because they thought he was kind of like a high weight speed kind of guy. Even though he produced
not a
solidly.
high weight speed kind of guy. You cannot count him with like the man. I can't.
Well, if you think about it, if you think about it though, he had gotten hurt at Ole Miss, and then he had also did terribly on the 3-cone drill and the what was the shuttle run, right?
So the change of direction. He only did the 3-cone.
Yeah, the 3-cone, and I think there was a stat saying that Tom Brady had a faster one, didn't he, or something like that?
I think he did. But you know what? He was marked as his height, weight, speed guy. he was always more than that. During like when he was healthy, he averaged more yards than AJ Brown.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you on that, but like the analysts thought differently. But
I
feel
totally
like
plenty
agree.
of
I
analysts
knew
were
he
on
was
top
gonna.
of him. I love DK Metcalf. He's on my shadow team, which is a feature that is coming after the draft this year.
Oh, DK's my guy.
DK is on my shadow team. He's my wide receiver. There's the Falcons. I said the Falcons.
There it is. You called it.
DK, my shadow team, wide receivers are always says my specialty. So I'm proud that my shadow team has good wide receivers because I got Metcalf, Gallup, and Mooney. No first round pick spent on any of them on my shadow team. So it's like, look at that. I got elite receiver core. Didn't spend a first round pick on any of them for my shadow team.
That's solid.
I do know wide receivers.
Fair.
I'm not crazy.
Guess who I took in the 8th round 2 years ago?
There is no 8th round?
Fantasy.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Who?
DK Metcalf. He had dropped to the 8th round, and I remember I picked him up, and people were like, "Oh, he's gonna get hurt, or he's not gonna have a good year," and I was like, "Nah, he's gonna boom. Watch." Sure enough, bam! That was the year I think he didn't he lead the league in receiving? I think that year.
No, he never led the league in receiving.
Yeah, he's that or top 3, but I mean, dude,
that was and then the league.
Oh no, he was definitely top 3 then. This is when he had like his breakout year, like huge year. Last year was kind of like
his first year was his breakout year.
Well, no, I feel like his first year he was under 1,000 yards. He was kind of like what he could be, but like Lockett was still the guy. But that second year in Seattle, I believe that's what made him number 1 for sure. And it kind of bumped down Lockett a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you're right. He only had 900 his rookie year, 1,300 his second year.
Yeah, second year. And I believe it was top 3, right, for receiving yards that year.
Well, that's an entirely different page, my man.
Let's see.
Let's see. I can pull it up. 1 second.
You're my statistician, Patrick. I need you.
I'm a Pro Football Reference master.
You're my go-to sports almanac, man.
He was 7. He's top 10. How's top 10 work for you?
Top 10. Okay, fair enough. Top 10. I mean,
I always take guys. My fantasy philosophy is as someone who covers the draft, or maybe not covers it, whatever you want to call it, is into the draft.
You cover the draft.
Sure. We'll say I cover the draft. As someone who covers the draft, I feel like I should have. I love the Bears taking Pierce, especially in the third. That's such value. I always take guys in the 14th, 15th round who I was a fan of, and I've gotten guys like I got Chris Carson in the 15th round. I got Philip Lindsay in the 15th round. I got
really good.
I got Darnell Mooney in the 14th round. Like every year, it's always like I always just pick like guys I really like, and I always end up working out. This year, I was like, I'm taking Ja'Marr Chase no matter what. I did a bunch of mocks, and if I had taken the 6th round, and it was still a massive value.
Oh, dude,
I'm
huge.
Getting Ja'Marr Chase.
No, and I kind of slightly do the same thing. I do read a lot of articles about training camps, though, because typically my leagues that we do it after preseason. I don't know why leagues do it prior to preseason.
We do after preseason too in most of my leagues.
Yeah, and I remember Antonio Gibson, actually, his rookie year, same year as DK's. I took him in the 12th round. And I thought it was weird that I had read an article. They said that the reason why they had released Adrian Peterson was because Antonio had showed a lot of promise during preseason and during training camp. So I think that 12th round flyer, I mean, he ended up being a stud that year too, towards the end, especially that playoff push. Oh, yeah. I kind of wonder who that's going to be this year. I mean, there's always those late round guys that end up just coming out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
I wonder if I can see my fantasy roster from this year. I think I got someone late in this year too. I don't know if I can see my fantasy roster from the last year or not.
I kind of have it slightly memorized. I know I had Russ back and DK.
Wait, maybe. No, I don't think I can. I don't think I can look up and see my old fantasy team. It was pretty good.
way, I'm hungry right now. I have not eaten since 4. No, not 4. My bad. 2. It's been too long.
I will say, in Tim's league, I got 4th place 3 years in a row. I'd make the playoffs and then just lose twice in a row. Every year.
First round of playoffs or what?
First round of playoffs.
Damn.
And then last year I lost. I got 5th, which is still playoffs, because they did a 16 playoff. And then this year I got 7th, didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I didn't ever get in Tim's league this year. I was a little sad about that.
It was not a good year for me, but my team was good. It just wasn't. It just like I'd hit like at the wrong weeks. You know how it is.
I may have to just
Also, I
stick
accidentally
to
took J.K.
here.
Dobbins. I auto drafted and took J.K. Dobbins right after he got hurt.
Oh my god, that's really bad. You want to talk about really bad voodoo? The Ravens had bad voodoo with just injuries this past year, man.
If you look at the starters they lost, they didn't lose a lot. They didn't lose a lot of starters.
No,
they had a lot of
I
backups
feel like
get hurt.
yeah, but well, you think about it too, like the Ravens are a running team, you know, and losing those running backs, like even though you got Lamar Jackson still, like it kind of hurts, you know, because now you could kind of crowd the box and maybe have 2 quarterback spies if you know the running back on the other side's like kind of like hit or miss, you know what I mean?
I kind of know what you mean, but you know they should have still been able to succeed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game that had me convinced they were going to make the playoffs is when they absolutely just slaughtered the Chargers, like, by more than 30 points. I was like, yo, like, these guys are a playoff team, and then sure enough, bam, not.
So if you want to win your fantasy league, this all depends on landing spot. If I'm going with anyone this year, if he gets a good landing spot, Bo Melton's who I'm going after. He's one of my favorite wide receivers in the draft. I've looked so much into Bo Melton. I'm such a big fan of him at Rutgers.
Oh, Bo Melvin.
Bo Melton.
Oh, Melton.
Yeah, this is my boy right here.
I was like, I've never heard of Bo Melvin before.
Bo Melton from Rutgers. He is not. You go look at his production. It doesn't look that impressive. But then you go look at it as a percentage. It is impressive. Because here's the thing. Rutgers sucks.
You know, I could see Bo Melton with his little star thing that we have on our thing. I could see him being a Kansas City Chief because he has a good vertical jump. He has a great 40-yard dash time, and he has the great 20-yard split. His height's kind of, you know, on the smaller side. 3-cone drills, broad jumps, I mean, but you want to talk about speed and a guy who can chuck it? I mean, I think the Chiefs would be a great fit.
I mean, I really like Bo Melton, Tyquan Thornton, Danny Gray, and Velus Jones. And I'm going to take it probably two of those guys in fantasy this year. So I love taking rookies because you get them at a discount unless they get hyped up way too much in the offseason. This depends if like Bo Melton goes like the first wide receiver the Packers take, and he goes like the 4th round or the 6th round or something stupid. I'm not going to take him. But it all depends on landing spot. You know, Bo Melton goes somewhere where he can get starts and get targets. I'm drafting him in every league. Same with any of those 3 guys. I'll draft at least 2 of them in every single league between Bo Melton, Tyquan Thornton, Velus Jones, and Danny Gray.
I think my probably last pick of the draft, just like as a flyer, I'd have to say James Cook. If he's even
I like
available.
James Cook. If I was going to do a running back, that's who I'd do as like the last round pick.
Yeah, because I typically go.
Go ahead.
You were gonna say?
I feel a lot more comfortable with my ability to evaluate receivers and find good depth wide receivers late. So I'll normally just go like running back, so I can get those guys out of the way. Just try and get 2 guys who can just start every game, and then just load up on wide receivers that I think have a ton of potential.
No, and for me, it's kind of the opposite. Like I'll do wide receivers in the beginning, and then I'll pick my running backs towards the end because I feel like some people like reach for running backs sometimes, but like I could kind of have a good visual. Like for example, the Antonio Gibson pick was a fantastic pickup because he heated up right when playoff time was coming around, when you absolutely need those points. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, I get it though, because we're in a passing league now, so it's probably easier to spot wide receivers. It sounds like you're kind of a wide receiver, guru, but
that's my specialty. Definitely wide receiver.
Yeah, for me, running backs are a little more. For me, I can pick out the good ones pretty well.
I like James Cook a lot.
Like this year, Javonte Williams is going to go off without a doubt.
We got to see how much Melvin Gordon's stealing from him, but it shouldn't be too much. I
don't think it's going to be a lot, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if they. Do you think they could cut him potentially during training camp or after?
They wouldn't have just signed him back just to cut him.
Fair. I didn't know they signed him back. Oh yeah, they brought him back on a 1-year deal, actually, right?
Yeah, just like today.
Oh, today. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's good information. So now, if I'm sitting at like 5 or 6 this year, maybe I think a little differently. But I think Javonte's still gonna go off though, regardless.
I don't know. It really depends. I feel like they could really lean on Russell Wilson. I feel like Russell Wilson's gonna want to go off himself. In that passing offense.
Oh yeah, they're gonna want to let Russ cook. There's a chance.
Let Russ cook. This is no offense to your Seahawks, but this is easily the best offense that Russell Wilson has ever been in.
Full offense to my Seahawks. Actually, I don't know, Patrick. That 2013 team looked real nice. We had Marshawn Lynch.
The defense looked nice. You had Marshawn Lynch, but Javonte Williams is pretty good, and Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, Tim Patrick is a way better wide receiver.
I'd say better wide receiver. Wide receivers.
Hands down, better wide receiver. Just as good a tight end with Albert OK. Slightly worse running back. It's the 3 wide receivers are so much better that it's not even close.
I'd say interior offensive lineman though. I think we have them beat because we had Max Unger and that man.
The whole offensive line for the Broncos is way better than the Seahawks offensive line.
From back in 2013, I'd say the tackles for sure, but I wouldn't say the interior offense. I'd say
the whole thing's better. You can't just rate the interior versus exterior. It's the whole thing. The offensive line for the Broncos is better than anything the Seahawks put out during Russell Wilson's tenure.
Fair.
Well, I'm on the clock.
I'd say we were one good tackle away.
That wide receiver trio is so much better than any trio the Seahawks ever put out that I don't think it's close.
Oh yeah,
Doug Baldwin's good. Tyler Lockett's good. But you never had a great Doug, and DK Metcalf is good. But you never had all three being great at the same time.
No. Because that year that we had went to the Super Bowl the second time when we played the Pats, that's the offense that I was comparing it to. But I think our best 3 receivers was Doug Baldwin, Jermaine Kearse, and what was...
You guys caught all the passes in the Super Bowl. It was like Chris Moore or something who never did anything afterwards.
Chris Matthews.
Yes, Chris Matthews. I'll
never forget Chris Matthews because he's the reason why we went to that Super Bowl. He recovered that onside kick from Richard Rodgers when it bounced off him.
Right. He had like a great
playoff run.
He had a great playoffs, and then he never did. Like he had like a couple catches still in the regular season.
Yeah,
he just never did anything really.
He was never the same after that.
Well, I would say he never was that good. He just had like a hot stretch.
No, Matthews was definitely a 1-year wonder, but he came at a perfect time.
Like a 3-game wonder.
No, we had I'm trying to think. Jermaine Kearse.
If you have your best game in the Super Bowl, that's good. Doesn't matter what else happens.
Dude, that's perfect. That's perfect.
The best game of your career should come in the Super Bowl. But
without a doubt.
Regardless, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, and Courtland Sutton is like leagues above of Doug Baldwin and Jermaine Kearse.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, no arguments there. And we did have Ricardo Lockett until he had hurt himself and had to retire from football.
I mean, yeah, but he would be like the 5th best wide receiver on the Broncos right now.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. That Broncos wide receiver room is deep. And
I can't believe that you guys traded. Broncos might have said no way we're trading a wide receiver, but I can't believe you got Noah Fant instead of one of those wide receivers. I would have been like Sutton or Jeudy, or we're hanging up.
I would have loved to have had Jeudy. I feel like he's just untapped potential, I already seen what Sutton can do, real nice, but I would have liked Jeudy a little bit.
I mean, I think you couldn't have gone wrong with either of them. Both of them are great pairings with those wide receivers. But I feel like Noah Fant is definitely the the weakest of the bunch.
Oh, for sure.
It's especially hilarious that you traded for Drew Lock and the Broncos tight end, but not the Broncos tight end that Drew Lock played in college with.
I know.
And you left him.
Albert O, man, that would have been a nice little connection. Well, Albert, he's a boomer bust guy this year.
He is. I don't think he's like some great pickup. And I think it would have been better for them to keep Fant, but I feel like it doesn't really matter how well he does because Javonte Williams and those 3 wide receivers are so good that just having middling tight end play isn't going to hurt him.
No, exactly.
Also, hey, let's talk about some of these recent picks. We haven't talked about a pick in a while.
You're good.
Broncos took Jelani Woods. Which good little backup for if Alberto sucks. All right, we're gonna move backwards as fast as we can and then catch back up. Darren Kennard, that's okay. He was getting talked up as a first-round guy before his combine was god awful.
Isaiah Likely, I definitely like that pick. I feel like he's quite possibly the best tight end in this draft when it comes to athleticism.
Kobe
Bryant.
No. Here, I'm gonna show you something. And you're gonna understand that Isaiah Likely is more than likely a bust.
You think so?
No. He is more than likely a bust. And I'll tell you why.
Hold that thought. Let me get some water. Pull up what you need to pull up. I am excited.
I'm pulling it up. It's very slow. I have a lot of tabs open on my computer, so everything runs very slowly. Here, while he's getting some water, I'll talk about the Zion McCollum, good potential, tons of potential. Quay Walker, probably going to go in the top 20, so nothing really we're talking about, but that's dumb. I took Perry Winfrey. Just rounding out this the front 7 we got edge, linebacker, D-line, love it. Isaiah Likely's a terrible pick. We'll talk about that in a minute. Roger McCreary, it's a little late for him, honestly. He's a great prospect. Amari Barno is like the fastest 10-yard split. I'm on the edge of the combine. Kenneth Walker, I feel like Lions fans will hate taking another running back that high. Haskell Garrett, that's way too rich. NPF, that's a fine range. Kobe Bryant, that makes sense. Titans just took Bailey Zapp. That's a good backup for Tannehill. Trill, more like it. All right. Where were we? Trey McBride. Wait, did they double down on tight end? Why? All right, that's weird. Myjai Sanders, a lot of athleticism, but just okay. Velus Jones, a great fit with Matt Ryan and Michael Pittman. Love it. Cameron Thomas seems like a very Seahawks pick. And we talked about Alec Pierce, so I feel like we're far enough backwards. And Bucks just took Rashad White. Oh, I love that fit.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, we gotta switch what screen we're looking at for a second. We're gonna talk about why Isaiah Likely is not going to succeed. All right, we're gonna go to his RAS page. We're gonna pull up his athleticism right here. Shuttle 4.57. I have a thresholds list. I went through every successful position, every successful player at each position in the NFL, and I made a threshold list of where if you test worse than this, odds are good that you're not going to succeed in the NFL. The 40-yard dash time's 4.9, so he hit that. But shuttle is 4.52. He didn't even get close to it. If he did not hit that shuttle time, odds are very good that he does not do anything in the NFL. Guys that don't hit my thresholds are like a 1 to 2% chance to do anything in the NFL. They're outliers to succeed. So I would bet against Isaiah Likely, no matter where he goes.
Even if he goes to like a really good team?
Even if he goes to a really good team, even if he goes to a team that has a huge need for a tight end and a great quarterback and are a really good team, I'd still bet against him because of that short shuttle time. Those guys who fall outside my thresholds do not succeed very often. Very rarely. So, if I were you, I'd bet heavily against Isaiah Likely. I did a threshold test. That one actually had correlation. If your shuttle was prohibitively bad, worse than 4.52, then you're unlikely to succeed. I have this for every position. Another guy who didn't hit one of them, Kyron Williams. I wouldn't touch him. Jalen Wiedemeyer, he didn't hit the 40 threshold. He ran like a 5. I wouldn't draft him.
What about Trey McBride?
Trey McBride hit all the thresholds, I think. We'll pull it up.
I'm big on him, Trey McBride, and Grant Calcaterra.
Grant Calcaterra.
My favorite tight end. Oh, and I love me
Yeah,
some
Terrence
Daniel
Bride hit
Bellinger.
all the thresholds.
Of course. Nice.
I mean,
I love me
my
some
favorites
Daniel
are
Bellinger.
Daniel
too.
Bellinger and Chigoziem Okonkwo.
You're a smart man. Loving Bellinger. That boy
Bellinger's
was a
great.
stud at State.
Okonkwo is great too.
You got to keep in mind too. The Aztecs are not a passing team, and Daniel Bellinger still showed. You know what I mean? Like he made the most of his opportunities.
I would take Bellinger or Chigoziem Okonkwo in the 3rd or 4th round, no question.
Oh yeah, Maryland guy, he's pretty solid.
I like them both. I like them both a lot. I'd rather have them over guys like Isaiah Likely and Jeremy Ruckert because they're athletic.
Yeah, Jeremy Ruckert.
My number one rule for a tight end is be athletic.
The Jeremy Ruckert made that really one nice catch during the playoffs. Like outside of that, were there any things that stand out about Jeremy Ruckert to you?
He's a solid blocker.
Fair.
I would take my number one rule for tight ends is they have to be athletic. So I take McBride, I take Dulcich, I take Okonkwo, and I take Bellinger. I take any of those guys in like the 2 to 4 range.
That's fair. That's fair. I feel like Belly may drop out of the 4 though. I think he could go in the 5th, don't you think?
I mean, Daniel Jeremiah had Bellinger in like his top 80 players.
Well, Daniel Jeremiah is a very smart man.
He is, although I would say, and this is one of the things I love about DJ, is that he does not just listen. He doesn't just call up his scout friends and say, where should I put this guy? He's actually out there grinding the tape and doing his own rankings. I love that about DJ. He'll have his own rankings. He'll have good rationalizations for him. So I don't know. So with him, it's not like you see a guy in the 80s and it's like, okay, he's probably going to go in the top 100. It's like DJ likes that guy in the 80s, you know?
No, I mean, no, that makes sense.
You see a guy like Chris Sims or, you know, some of those bigger names, guys who more do like media stuff instead of like draft stuff. You see they'll like put out a big board and it's clearly just stuff they're being fed by the league. Because you'll see it like 1 week, they'll like complete, like 1 week they'll have a guy in the 20s and then all week you'll hear like a positive buzz about a guy and then suddenly their big board comes out and this guy's moved up 20 spots. And it's like, okay, well, clearly you're just listening to what the league is saying and just reacting to that. If you watch tape on this guy, there's no way you're like, oh no, I watched tape on this guy, but now he's 20 picks better because I watched one more game. No.
Yeah, no,
listening to what the league's telling you.
I feel like some of the NFL analysts do a pretty good job of making it, but I totally agree with you. Like, I feel like a guy that also kind of does that, listening to the league, is Colin Cowherd. He does a lot of listening to the league, in my opinion.
I mean, you can see it. You can clearly see it with guys that, like, if their rankings change a bunch as you hear stuff from the league, because as these analysts hear stuff, it's going to get leaked out. If you start hearing like Trayvon Walker's a first or top 10 pick, and he moves from the 30s on some guy's big board to the top 10, then you know that they're just listening to the league. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's a telltale sign. They're showing
right, and if you look at their big board and like aligns with where guys go, then you know. And if you see like DJ's got like Bellinger in the 80s, Bellinger doesn't go into like 130, then he may not be listening to the league, or maybe he does go in the 80s, or he goes even earlier, and DJ's just a good evaluator. That happens.
It does. You gotta keep in mind too. It's just like how much information are these clubs, like these football teams, willing to expose about their picks? You know what I mean? Because then it's like they're showing their hand, you know, and that's advantageous for somebody who's like, oh, you know.
I was a big fan of Deontay Johnson coming out, and I was like the only one. No one talked about him. But I mean,
I was huge on Hunter Renfrow.
I was huge on Deontay Johnson because he only ever played against press in one game against Miami, and he just cooked them. They just couldn't touch him. And I was like, this guy is a guy who deserves to go top 50. I said, okay, I made a draft profile video on him. I was like, I'll take him, you know, in the second or third, but he's probably going to go in like 5 or 6 because, you know, no one's talking about him. Small school guy, didn't even test that well. Then draft comes around, he goes in like the second or third round. You look on YouTube, I'm literally the only person who's made a video on him. So I'm just racking up views because no one knows who he is. And it's just like, well, clearly the league was able to keep this a secret because I watched him and I loved him. So I said that.
I loved
you
Hunter
never
Renfrow.
saw any like national analysts talking about Deontay Johnson except like in passing.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, I could see why you were probably getting a bunch of views. The thing is, like, for me, I think what really sealed my deal with Hunter Renfrow, because I was so high on him coming out. Like, he was like a top 5 wide receiver for me personally, even though he never had a 100-yard receiving game in college. When the lights shine the brightest in that Alabama national championship game, he was the guy that caught the game-winning touchdown. He had caught 2 touchdowns that game against this, unformidable defense that Bama had at that time. Obviously, not my opinion, a little weaker than the years past, in my opinion, but still very good. You know what I mean? I mean, a weak Alabama defense, quote unquote weak, is still going to be stronger than just about any other defense. And
they had a weak defense this year and still have guys who are going to get drafted.
Exactly. And like Hunter Renfrow had shined the brightest in that stage. You know what I mean? And to me, that in my mind, after watching that game and just seeing his grit, like I was like, this guy's going to be a player for sure, like a great player. And sure enough, I mean, he's due for a contract extension very soon with the Raiders.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, Bo Melton this year is probably a borderline top 5 receiver for me.
Fair. I mean, we all have guys we fall in love with in the later rounds,
Right. I just think he's really good.
I feel like for me,
solid hands, good route runner, good production, just everything I want in a guy.
I'm trying to think who's like a late round wide receiver for me. See, I'm not that good. I could give you a good running back for the later rounds. I think Greg Bell's going to be a solid guy. I think he's going to get some looks. I think he's a priority
could go in like the 3rd round. If you want a really late wide receiver, I'd say Danny Gray is the guy to look at.
Yeah, from SMU, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I listed 4 guys. I don't know what order they're going to go off the board in. Thornton, I think, is probably going to be the earliest of these guys. And then Bellis Jones, Bo Melton, Danny Gray. I love all 4 of these guys. I don't know which order they're going to go off the board. I would guess Thornton's going to be the first one if I had to guess.
Yeah, because he had the fastest 40 time, didn't he?
Yeah, and those guys normally go in the 1st round or early 2nd round. So
it's a Raiders pick.
I would not. I genuinely. No one's mocking him there. I genuinely would not be surprised if he went top 50 because he's fast and he's big.
So he's a top 10 wide receiver.
I think. He's definitely a top 10 wide receiver in the draft. He is productive, athletic, big, played at a major university. Like, why would you want to draft like a Christian Watson over him? I know Christian Watson has a better all-around athletic profile, but in terms of actually playing football, Thornton's way closer.
That's fair. I mean, he does check out too on that. I'm looking at his star thing right now. Like his weight and height, really good. Broad jump, solid, very good. Vertical jump, solid. 40-yard dash, obviously, is in the 99th percentile. And then that 10-yard split, yeah, I mean, do you think he could sneak? Do you think a team takes a chance on him in the top 64 picks? Do you think that could happen?
I literally just said that I think he could go on the top 50.
Oh, you did. I didn't hear that. It's my bad. It's been breaking up a little bit. That's
fine. Genuinely, his agilities aren't the greatest. He's not an all-around athletic profile like a Christian Watson. He's a little bit more limited, and he's not as much of a freak, but he's way better at football. So I genuinely would not be surprised if he went top 50.
Who would you like him to go to if you had that?
Okay, if I could pick a team.
Yeah.
Let's look. Let's go back.
I say, you think I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I say Chiefs, man. I mean, speed, height.
No, I don't like with the Chiefs because they just signed MVS. And they have Mecole Hardman. They kind of play similar roles. MVS.
But if you're talking long-term option,
if I'm given a name for somewhere I want to go, where I want him to go, I'm going right here in the top 50. if he doesn't go in the first, because that's very unlikely. I'm saying like the top 18 picks of the second round is where I'm looking. Because if he goes in the first, I'm going to go to the Packers, obviously. But if I'm looking here at the second, where I'm looking here is the 6, 7, the Jets and the Bears. I think that he could go in either of those spots. I wouldn't be surprised. Look. He's got a 30% college target share, 88th percentile, 20 breakout age at 60th percentile, college yards per reception, 58th percentile, college dominators, 75th percentile, 100th percentile speed score, 92nd or 40-yard dash, 92nd percentile speed score, 89th burst score, 84th catch radius. I don't get why he's not talked about as like a top 100 pick. Really, people are like projecting in the fourth round. It makes no sense.
We always have guys that fall through the cracks, and I mean, obviously
they do, but people are wrong.
Thornton caught my eye at the combine, obviously with that unofficial time of 4.21. I was like, wow, this guy's flying. You know what I mean? Obviously, he got corrected, but nonetheless, though, I mean that's how I know who he is. I mean, he showed out at the combine. You know what I mean? But yeah,
but he was a good prospect even before the combine.
No, for sure, without a doubt. Like you said, Baylor is a major university. Although, would I be wrong in saying Baylor is a lot more of a defensive school recently?
It is, but he was. They've had a good passing attack in the past couple years.
Speaking of the devil, he gets taken here by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I
would that be a good
so
spot?
Dumb. The Jags, yeah, that'd be fine. I'd like him with Trevor Lawrence. I'd like him to go to the Jaguars. If he could go be the first pick of the second round, I'd be down with that. I genuinely believe that he's going to be like a second round pick, and people are going to be surprised.
So if you're a betting man, you're like, hey, $20 on him being a second round pick.
I mean, yeah, and I feel like you get pretty good odds on that. Why is Darian Kendrick still here? We need to bump him way down. I feel it's a little late now, but we should have bumped him way down. Let's see. Where do I want to go? I want to go cornerback. We're going to go with Alontae Taylor here. I like that pickup. We're going a lot of defense for these Eagles.
They need help. They need help on that linebacking spot so bad.
We got Troy Anderson. Look at this draft. This is a great draft. We got Wilson to start, so get that offense. We got Ebiketie, Troy Anderson, Perrion Winfrey, and Alontae Taylor. That's a great draft for the Eagles.
I got Nakobe Dean and Calvin Austin.
That's all right.
It's all right.
You're going real small there.
I am. That's the thing. I feel like Thornton probably would have been a better pick at that position.
There you go.
It would have just been considered a reach step.
I mean, you know what? But then we could have talked about this at this point. You've been like, all right, I guess it's not a reach. That's a value. I think that Tyquan Thornton will be the first of the four, and then probably Velus Jones, and then Bo Melton, and then Danny Gray. But I don't know for sure. I could see Bo Melton going first. I could see Velus Jones going first. I don't think Danny Gray is going to be the first of the four. I think he's going to be third or fourth. But wherever you get those guys, you're getting value probably. Well, probably not if Tyquan Thornton goes in top. But
fair.
I just don't get why Alec Pierce and Christian Watson are getting borderline. See, that's a terrible pick. Borderline first round talk. When Tyquan Thornton and Bo Melton are getting like fourth round talk, it doesn't make sense to me.
So, well, obviously the Bengals would have no room for him. Do you think so? No, their wide receiver is solid.
They aren't. They have three good receivers. They need a depth guy. If Tyquan Thornton and Bo Melton are on the board in the third, or Danny Gray or Velus Jones are on the board in the third, fourth, I think they have to consider it because they need a backup speed guy. Because the thing is they have Jamar Chase, speedy, good deep threat. Then they have T. Higgins, not really a deep threat, not a speedy deep threat. Tyler Boyd, not a speedy deep threat. And their backups are Stanley Morgan and Trent Taylor. They don't have anyone.
Taylor.
Chase, yeah, that's their fifth wide receiver right now.
Former 49er.
So both their backups are special teamers. They need another like wide receiver backup.
Fair.
So I think targeting a speedy guy. They need someone speedy. So if Jamar Chase gets hurt, because if Jamar Chase gets hurt right now, that offense is just neutered because they don't have anyone else who can threaten downfield.
Would you if let's say Tyquan Thornton ended up going there in like the fourth round? to the Bengals, would you cop a jersey? Probably.
No, because I don't have any jerseys. I have an AJ Green jersey. I'd like to get Jamar Chase jersey, but I probably would not grab a Tyquan Thornton jersey. But I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
Fair.
I would be a fan of that. I would love that pick. I think I would go Bo Melton over Tyquan Thornton in the 4th for the Bengals. But I think I would be happy with either of them. Or Danny Gray or Velus Jones. I think Velus Jones and Bo Melton would be my top 2 picks because they have returning experience, which would be nice.
What about if Alec fell? No.
Alec Pierce? I'm okay with it because, I don't like Alec. I like Tyquan Thornton just as much as Alec Pierce, a little bit more. So at what their cost is, I like at what their cost is because we have no idea where they're actually going to go. I like Thornton a lot better than Pierce. I think Pierce is getting overvalued and Thornton's getting undervalued. But if the script's flipped and Thornton went in the 2nd round and Pierce is available in the 4th, I would happily take Pierce.
So let's say I got a great situation for you, actually, because I remember talking about your Bengals mock. So let's say Kobe Bryant is sitting there at the bottom of the 3rd round. And obviously, corner is a huge need for the Bengals. Am I right? And
have they addressed it in 1 or 2?
No, they haven't. Not yet.
Okay.
And let's say Kobe is there, and then you got Bo Melton. Who are you taking in that position? Because I feel like wide receiver is just kind of a luxury in that position. I feel like corner is a bigger need. But who would you take in that situation?
I don't really like Kobe Bryant, so I take Bo Melton.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then I try and address receiver in 4th, 5th then with guys like Alontae Taylor, Zion McCollum, just these athletic developmental guys because we don't need a starting cornerback this year. So we can take a developmental guy in the 4th round or a Josh Jobe and let him sit for a year. We could get a Zion McCollum and Alontae Taylor and Josh Jobe in the 4th round and let them develop for a year behind Eli Apple, who is fine as a starter and probably will start over any rookie we don't take in the 1st round. I'd rather have Eli Apple starting than Kobe Bryant. Just take an athletic guy in the 4th round over a Kobe Bryant and then let them develop for a year.
Fair.
Maybe you can take a guy in the 4th and the 6th and just let them both develop for a year and then start whoever's better the next year.
I don't know. For me personally, I like Kobe quite a bit. I think
not very athletic.
Yeah, that's the only knock. But he gets it done though. But then again, you got to question the talent he's gotten it done against.
Right.
And then you got Sauce on the other side too.
And they had a pretty good safety too in Cook.
Yeah, Cook, yeah. Brian Cook, right?
I don't know. Yeah, Brian Cook, I think. Solid safety. Not a great safety, solid safety.
And then they had a good defense
a pretty
overall.
It was a good defense, and the only one that I'd really want to take, is Sauce. The rest of them, I'm kind of on.
Fair. Even the edge rusher, I forgot his name.
Sanders, and he's okay.
Yeah.
You're getting guys like Dominique Robinson, a round later than Myjai Sanders, and I'd just rather take him straight up. I'd rather have Dominique Robinson in the 3rd than Myjai Sanders in the 3rd.
Fair.
Which
I think out of all the edge
rushers,
once
again, this is round, a lot of big boards have them like that. It could get flipped on draft day. We could see Robinson go over Sanders, but as of right now, I'd rather have Robinson than Sanders straight up.
Fair. I would say Thomas over all of them, honestly, in my opinion. That's a little bit of school. That's Cameron Thomas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But then again, that's probably State.
Because it's San Diego State, obviously.
That's a little San Diego State bias right there, but hey,
I went to Miami where Dominique Robinson went, but I also genuinely like him better than Myjai Sanders. No bias.
Fair. How was Miami? Did you like going to school there?
The school is nice. It was great school.
A lot of football history.
Beautiful. Hated that Big Ben went there, but other than that, it was nice.
Oh, Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, not that one. No, we're Miami University. They're the University of Miami.
Fair. Yeah, Big Ben. Yeah,
that's why they're the U.
Fair.
And they're the private university, and we're the public university. Everyone always gets that backwards.
Really? So
Yeah.
it's a lot of money to probably go to Miami.
Which my
Florida.
Yeah, I think so because it's a private school.
Private, yeah. Well, unless you're like really good at football, then you're chilling.
Well, yeah, they have plenty of scholarships. Yeah, Miami of Ohio is normal in-state tuition for me. I had a friend who came in from out of state, and he paid $1.50 because out of state tuition costs so insane.
Did you go to a lot of football games there?
No, because we sucked. I think we only
Fair.
had one or two guys drafted for as long as I was in college there. I think only one was in the top 50. It was a cornerback. I actually think he was a safety, and he switched to a cornerback when he was drafted. He went to the Packers. Quentin Rollins.
It didn't work out.
That's who it is.
It didn't work out
Did
well.
not work out. It's Quentin Rollins, so that'll tell you if you recognize the name. It did. If you don't, then it didn't. Because if he had worked out, he would probably still be in the league right now. Because he'd only be like 28, 29.
100%.
But he's not. They drafted him the same year they drafted Demarius Randall.
Oh, fair.
They drafted Rollins in the second round, Randall in the first.
If you had to pick your guy who's going to be yours this year, who would you say?
Draft bust?
Yeah.
I mean, can I just go with like the obvious ones that are like unathletic? Isaiah Likely.
I want you to think a little bit. It's going to be easy. Patrick, you know your football.
Isaiah Likely, Kyron Williams, Jalen Wiedemeyer.
I'm talking first round, like top 10 guys that you see going in the top 10. But
top 10? It's tough to pick top 10 guys that are going to bust. Let me go top 20.
I have
top 20.
I have one if you want to.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go with the obvious. I'm going to go Trevon Walker. For cost, he's not going to be worth it.
I was going to say too.
I mean, yeah, that was easy. If Trevor Penning goes in the first round, which I've seen a lot of, I can't go in your Seahawks, I would bet heavily against him. No offense.
I'm him at like 20, but not 9. Definitely not 9.
Yeah.
If we like traded down, that'd be cool. Maybe we trade with the Steelers, or like, hey, you guys could take Malik Willis. Just give us more picks.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'd say Trayvon Walker. I'd say
Trevor Penning if he goes top 10.
I'd say as a whole for the first round, like outside of the obvious. Let's see real quick. Let's see.
I would say Jermaine Johnson for cost. He's probably going to go top 10.
Yeah, I feel like, well, you know what? Jermaine Johnson's one of those guys that I feel like can like really surprise us, though. Like, even though I wouldn't want him, the Seahawks taking him at 9, like, there's a chance that he could also, like, really surprise people, you know?
Yeah. If Quay Walker goes in the first round, I'm betting heavily against him.
Yeah, you don't seem to like Quay Walker. I don't blame you, though. I'm more of a... Personally speaking, I like Channing Tindall better than Quay Walker.
Here's the thing. I don't like any of these Georgia linebackers. Because...
Really?
Let's talk about who they had in front of them. Trevon Walker, first round pick. Jordan Davis, first round pick. Devontae Wyatt, first round pick. Jalen Carter, first round pick. The other guy from next year, whose name I forgot, first round pick. Adam Anderson would be a first round pick if he wasn't a piece of crap. They literally had six first round picks playing in front of them. How are you going to trust a linebacker to do that? They're not going to have that in the NFL. That's a huge adjustment.
No, it is a huge adjustment. You're absolutely right. But I feel like Nakobe Dean's going to be obviously the best one out of all of them, in my opinion.
If I had to bet on one, it'd be Dean, but I think I wouldn't take him in the first.
I think Channing Tindall's actually going to impress quite a bit. I know he got kind of exposed in pass coverage, but when it came to the tackling and like just really just holding it down and making sure that running back doesn't get extra yards, I felt like he did his job there. And for a third or fourth round value, I think that's a solid pickup.
I probably just wouldn't take any members of that Georgia defense because the thing is the odds are good that probably half those guys are going to bust. And good luck trying to figure out which half.
We got to ask ourselves this question. Do you think that Georgia defense will be comparable in like the next 5 years to like defenses like, because they had a really good defense. They had a very good defense. And looking back,
one of the best defenses of all time.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Do you think that a lot of those guys are going to be like all pros, or do you really think they're all going to be busts?
They're not all going to be busts. I would say probably like half or a little bit less than half are going to be good players. They're not all pros, but good players. But the thing is I don't know which half because they were so reliant on each other in that scheme. They're trying to pick which ones are actually really good. They're all good athletes. So, you at least have that bare minimum. But trying to pick which ones are really good, which ones really benefited from having really good players next to them seems impossible.
Fair. You really don't know. I mean, unless you go deep into the statistics, but
odds are good that not every member of that defense is going to work out, especially all the ones that are going to be first or second round picks.
I think the only teams that have had something like that or similar is probably Miami, the Hurricanes. We're literally almost every pick
had some years where they had a bunch of first round picks on defense
that worked out.
That were no, not really. No, it's when it's a whole position, when it's a whole group, a whole side of a team. Then
there's some guys that get
I question who's the real impact there. Who was the one that made the real difference?
Fair. And you probably won't ever find that out until the games start,
Right. Those linebackers had 6 guys. I'm on the clock. I gotta make a pick. Those linebackers had 6 first-round picks. Probably most of them are gonna be top 20 guys in front of them. And
not to mention they had another guy behind him and Scene.
Yeah, and then they had Scene, who also played like a linebacker. So he's dropped down the box, was playing over top. The only weakness of that defense was cornerback, but the rest of it was so good it didn't matter.
Truth. You almost wonder if any of these top first round pick corners had really try to get into that transfer portal, that phase that happened. That's not a phase, it's a new way of life in college football. If they had tried to go to Georgia, I mean, that team could have quite possibly been the best defense of all time.
Oh yeah, imagine Trent McDuffie and Kyler Gordon out there playing quarterback for that.
Or dude, imagine Sauce Gardner's yeah, let me just go ahead to Georgia real quick. Yo, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, any of these players, because that defense was loaded, absolutely loaded.
It was
top to bottom.
It was a spectacle to watch. You really saw it kind of. I feel like Georgia's defense wasn't really appreciated as much and respected as much until that national championship game. That's how I felt.
I think that the game before that really kind of started it. And well,
no, it started.
They beat Alabama before. They already beat Alabama for the national championship.
Yeah,
right?
And then they had literally stomped out Michigan. No, for sure. But what I'm saying is, I think people had their doubts, oh, there's no way that Bama loses again to these guys, But sure enough, they dominated Bama. So it's just I feel like they really earned the respect after that national championship performance.
Oh yeah. Who's the other Georgia guy I'm thinking of? Who's their other?
You don't like the corners at all from Georgia, do you? Not even in the late rounds?
No, Darian Kendrick ran I gotta pull this up. It's hard to believe how badly he ran the 40-yard dash.
So pretty much he should have just stayed at home.
He should have just not tested straight up.
He should have just opted out, been yeah, I got the.
He ran a 4.79. That's undraftable.
Dude, that is really bad.
That's straight up undraftable. I'm sorry.
That's you can't really draft bad. That.
I'm currently going through the Georgia roster, trying to figure out who that other defensive lineman I'm thinking of is.
Yeah, dude. If Adam Anderson wasn't a turd, he would have been a
human piece of garbage.
Yeah, he would have been a great pickup. I did include him in my draft, my mock draft with the Seahawks, but this is before, he had actually, it became official yesterday, right? Where he got
I wouldn't draft it. I don't think a team would draft him. I hope a team doesn't draft him. Did I say Jalen Carter? I think I said Jalen Carter since the other one I'm missing. Who is it? I can't remember. Either way, there's another guy who's probably going to be a first round pick along with Jalen Carter next year, and I can't. So Jalen Carter, Devontae Wyatt, Jordan Davis, Travon Walker. So Adam Anderson. So that's 6 guys. 6 defensive linemen, first-round picks. Those linebackers had it easy.
Well, time will tell. I know Nakobe, in my opinion, is the most complete out of all of them, obviously. I don't know why people think Quay Walker's like the guy, but no, Nakobe was...
I think
Nakobe's better than Devin Lloyd.
I'm also not a big Devin Lloyd fan.
Yeah, I feel like people are trying to like hype up that linebacking train just a tad bit, just because we had Micah Parsons go last year, but I don't think there's going to be another Micah Parsons.
But Micah Parsons didn't even play linebacker really last year.
No, I don't think he didn't play at all, did he?
No, he played defensive end pretty much the whole, like mostly defensive end. He had like 10 sacks.
For Penn State, my bad. I thought he...
What do you mean? Never mind. The Cowboys.
No, I know, but when he was coming for Penn State, when he's coming out of Penn State, didn't he like take that year off for COVID?
I don't think so. Did he? I don't remember.
I thought that's why people like they said he's like going to be one of the best linebackers, but they also like said his draft stock would probably drop because he opted out for that year.
I remember Jamar Chase and Sewell did.
I remember Sewell and Chase for sure.
Sewell and Chase for sure.
Let's see.
I'll just check.
I'm gonna check right now.
I'll check that.
We'll see who gets it first. Probably you. You're like Patrick Schefter. Hold on, let's see.
Yeah, he did not play in 2020.
Oh yeah, he did. Yep, I knew it. I knew he had opted out. I remember prior to him opting out, like he was supposed to be like this next big thing, you know, and then he opted out, and then there came the doubts a little bit.
But he still went top 10, and then he had 10 sacks or whatever, 9.5 sacks with the Cowboys. So.
Stud.
But yeah, he was talking about his big linebacker, but he played edge because he's a freak athlete and can bend like nobody's business. He's like honestly one of the most athletically natural defensive end talents since like Von Miller. Yeah, but they were trying to draft him as a linebacker.
He was a stud for sure. For me, I don't know.
As a linebacker, I wouldn't take him in the first round, but you take him as an edge, and yeah, easy first round pick.
See, that's the thing too. I hate how sometimes they classify certain guys as a linebacker and they are edge. Like for me, growing up, Sean Merriman technically was a linebacker, but dude, I mean, he was a force on the. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, Penn State played him mostly off ball, but they played him on the line rarely, and it was clear that he was a freak at that. So why not just draft him, play him mostly at edge because he's gonna be a freak at it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I don't know. Yeah, if you asked me to draft him as a linebacker in the first round, I would have said no. Draft him as an edge in the first round, sure, top 10. Maybe I wouldn't have said that because it kind of would have been a little sketchy drafting a guy who never really rushed in college. But still, athletically, I was going to sure. If Darian Kendrick didn't literally break his leg in the middle of his run, he is undraftable. Like Jalen Wiedemeyer and Darian Kendrick, I would not draft with the Mr. Irrelevant pick.
I think Mr. Irrelevant. Let's see. I'm just gonna go.
Are you trying to pick Mr. Irrelevant?
Yeah, I would like to actually make my bid.
I got it. Because it's the 49ers. So, decent chance it's a running back.
Greg Bell.
He's not even, I don't think he's in our database. Bryant Koback from Toledo.
You don't think? The 49ers like to go small and super duper athletic.
Bryant Koback, 9.74 RAS, 5'10", 210. He had a 98th percentile vert, 90th percentile broad, 85th percentile 40-yard dash, just a 70th percentile shuttle and 3-cone, the 98th percentile bench. There you go. Bryant Koback. They're drafting a running back at the last pick. It's to be Bryant Koback from Toledo. That's your Mr.
Fair.
Irrelevant. I'm putting my name out there, putting it on the board.
You don't think Tyler Goodson?
Nah. They're going freaky athlete. Freaky athlete from a small school. That's their MO.
Tyler Goodson's a good athlete, though. He has everything. He's like
he does also. He has a good grasp too. I'm looking him up.
He has a prototypical 49er build.
He has a great 49ers build, but does he go before that though?
Yeah. Does he drop? Does he or does he get dropped? No, 100%. I totally agree with you. No, that would be look. If Tyler Goodson's there, that's my pick. Tyler Goodson. I do like your running back idea though. They usually do.
They love running backs.
They usually
grab one in the 7th round.
They love running backs.
They're
like,
now.
yeah, let's grab one in the 7th round, turn him into a fantasy sleeper.
Right, because Mostert's gone now, so they need a new one.
What about Sincere McCormick? Nah, he'll probably get taken before then.
I don't know. The name like Sincere, I feel like teams are just going to pass him on just because of that. Also, he tested terribly.
Pierre Strong? No, he's getting taken way before that.
Pierre Strong's been way gone. Here, let's just look at. I'll just look and see what running backs had the best. Were the best. I'm just pulling up which running backs had the best RAS for this year. Oh, it crashed. Trying again. I put in too much info, didn't like it. We haven't talked about a pick in a while. Well, I'll wait. Well, Daniel Bellinger and Matt Waletzko just went. I love both of those guys.
Solid pickups. Yeah, I could see Daniel Bellinger going to the Bucks. Could you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Matt Waletzko is my fourth point, my day 3 offensive lineman of choice. Solid.
I like the Romeo Doubs.
Romeo Doubs.
My doob. David Bell, solid pickup in the 4th round, even though he didn't test the greatest.
He tested pretty poorly.
Brian Cook, solid pickup for the Saints to replace Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Could go, let's see. So Breece Hall, Rachaad White are the top two RAS for the class. So they should be gone. Master T could be in play as Mr. Irrelevant.
Did he test well? You know what?
Freakish. 5'11", 220, 4'4", 40. Good 3-cone. Elite jumps. So could
Ty Chandler.
Master T.
Ooh, what about Ty Chandler?
Well, the Ty Chandler test.
Ooh.
Not that well.
Not 49er height, but definitely 49er 40-yard dash.
And Xander Horvath is too slow.
Yeah, there's like a certain speed. It's kind of a flex to be a 49ers running back taken late because it's like, okay, homeboy's got speed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at this list here. The top 10 guys, Tyler Goodson, Master Teague, and Bryant Koback stand out to me right now as guys with the athleticism and won't go super high. So if I'm picking guys, that's where I'm looking. Let's look at Isaiah Pacheco. What did you do? Isaiah Pacheco, that's interesting. He's on my list now too.
Who did he play for?
Rutgers. Not a Rutgers guy.
How did Greg Bell score?
Huh? Greg Bell?
Oh, no, he didn't do very good.
No, I'm just looking at the elite guys, so if you say someone and I don't see them, that means they're not elite.
That's funny.
Isaiah Pacheco was not bad, considering how bad Rutgers is. He never had more than 1,000 yards in a season, but that seems kind of like something the 49ers would target.
Oh, Michael Clemens with this pick by the Panthers. That's pretty solid.
Let's get back up. Cade Otton's fine. Smith is eh. These are all right picks. Nothing great, nothing terrible. Only have 6 picks left. All right, so these. Let's see. Let's look at Kevin Brown. He went to Incarnate Word. That seems like a 49ers pick if I've ever heard one. Let's see. Ooh, 4.45. He's only 5'9", 207 pounds, though, so he's a thick boy. I could see that.
You know, it has to be a good feeling to be Mr. Irrelevant, because don't you like go on a trip too for a week? Like they pay for everything.
I think they just you get like throwing a party pretty much.
Oh, that's awesome! Like, imagine being the last pick of the draft, and people are gonna know who you are too, because you get a jersey and you get announced.
Yes, you get like special treatment.
It's either first round or Mr. Irrelevant. That's in that order. Signing bonus probably won't be.
I got like five guys that if we're going off of being great athletes and being available at the last pick, I got 5 guys.
Tyler Goodson better be there.
Tyler Goodson is here. Actually, wait, no, we got 6 guys. 6 guys. So I almost forgot Bryant Koback. We got
all right, let's hear
Aaron Shamplin from Harvard. Ran a 4.48. Has an 8.3 RAS, 5'9", 194 pounds. Good athletic profile, not great. Should be there at late. We got Bryant Koback from Toledo, 5'10", almost 5'11", 210, 4.49 40. Great jump, solid agilities. We got Ty Goodson, 5'9", 197, 4.42. Great jumps and agilities. We got Kevin Brown from Incarnate Word, 5'9", 210, 4.45 with great jumps. Okay, agilities. Got Master Teague, 5'11", 220, 4.44. Solid jumps, solid athletics, solid agilities. And finish off, we got Isaiah Pacheco from Rutgers, 5'10", 216, 4.37. So if you're looking for pure speed, Isaiah Pacheco's the man you want to bet.
Let me see.
He's the fastest. Good agilities and okay jumps.
I'm looking him up right now, Isaiah Pacheco.
I wonder if there's any tape of him. Maybe someone like really loves Rutgers and put together an Isaiah Pacheco highlights. That's literally our only bet of getting actual.
Check this out. So.
Here we go. We got highlights from the Big Ten Network. Put us some highlights.
He was number 1, so clearly to get the number 1 jersey, you got to be like a stud, right? He was academic All Big Ten, honorable mention All Big Ten by coaches and the media, 2021 team captain. Yeah, that's a really good pickup. I'm glad you brought him up because he's a stud. You always want to look for team captains.
He only had 3.9 yards per carry this last year, but Rutgers blows, so I don't think you can hold that against him.
Yeah, no, exactly.
No offense to Rutgers.
Level.
Ooh, that play. That was kind of sick. He had some sick-ass cut in this against Texas State. Ooh. Can I share my screen?
Let's see it. Can you share it?
Tim might get mad at me, but we'll see. Let's we're gonna show. I hope Tim doesn't get in trouble for our live streaming this. Well, it is Rutgers, so they're not gonna care that much. All right, ready? Here we go. Are you watching?
Yes, sir. Let's see it. All right,
watch this cut. Watch this cut. This is sick. Woo! Right up the middle.
You know, Rutgers, they play against top-level talent, and the fact that he was able to still get 3.9 yards per carry, that's impressive in its own right, because I can't name you any other good Rutgers players outside of Bo Melton.
Isaiah Pacheco and Bo Melton are the steals of the draft.
So you're a Rutgers guy. All right, fair enough. I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick's a Rutgers guy, too.
I'm not a Rutgers guy, but you know what? I'm kind of liking both these guys.
Rutgers, where is
For
that? Is
some
that in?
reason.
That's not in Ohio, is it?
It's not in Ohio. I don't know where it is.
Fair.
Can I look? It's in
Yes.
New Jersey.
Fair. Yeah, Rutgers. Yeah, that sounds
Let's
like
see if
an
he
East
did
Coast.
good against any real teams. Against Michigan, I gotta find this game. He went 20 for 107.
That's really good. Did he get a touchdown?
No touchdowns.
Oh,
But 20 for
Teddy.
107 against Michigan. That's pretty good.
I mean, that's really good.
And
Michigan's
he had
like a top.
he had 14 for 35 against Temple. How does this happen?
See, Michigan has like top level talent on that defensive side of the ball. So
Yeah,
I mean,
they had
Hut-
Ojbo and Hutchinson playing defensive
Ojbo,
line. How
they
did
had
this
Hill.
happen?
Yeah,
It's
no.
hilarious.
They
Oh
had
my God.
Hawkins too. Hawkins is a solid safety. I mean, he's definitely a later round pick, but
He went 20 for 107 against Michigan, and then the next week he went 6 for 8 against Ohio State.
yeah, see that inconsistency may.
I mean,
Brad
yeah.
Hawkins.
He went 13 for 15 against Northwestern. I mean, you take out these games where he had like 5 carries for 10 yards, and his average is respectable. It's just that, like, so against Ohio State, he had 1.3 yards per carry. Against Northwestern, 1.2. Against Penn State, 1.2. Against Temple and Syracuse, 2.5, 2.6. Inconsistent, but also you're playing on Rutgers. All right, last pick is in. You got to pay attention to this. Let's see what we got.
Our Mr. Irrelevant for this draft.
Mr. Irrelevant. Jerome Ford.
Jerome Ford from Cincinnati.
That's a good pickup.
That's a great
pickup. It's a good pickup.
I'm going to put a little flame.
I did a little flame too. All right. It is too late for me to go through all these picks. It is too late.
Oh yeah, it's almost 11.
Yes, it's almost 11. I gotta get some sleep. I gotta work in the morning. What? Let's talk about our drafts. We'll talk about you and me's drafts, and then we'll call it a night.
Sounds good.
And
you go first.
I think this draft is literally like an A+ for the Eagles. If they walked out this draft, I think they'd be ecstatic. Garrett Wilson, great pairing with Devon Smith. Arnold Ebiketie, immediate edge upgrade. Troy Anderson, perfect for the middle of the defense. Perry Winfrey, a great pairing with who they already got in the middle. Alontae Taylor, a guy who can start at corner, can play a little flex, cornerback safety early on. Zach Tom, early impact interior offensive lineman. I love it. I think it's perfect. I think it's an A+ draft for the Eagles.
My favorite players from this draft that you drafted, I have 3 of them. Garrett Wilson, obviously. Troy Anderson, of course. And Zach Tom. I feel like Zach Tom is a true diamond in the rough prospect.
All right.
So now we're moving to my draft. And
you had 2 picks.
I had 2 picks. So first one was best player available at 17 since nobody wanted to trade with me. Understandable. Nakobe Dean.
It's a fine, solid pick.
That's a solid pick at 17 for sure.
I would
Especially
say
a lot of mocks.
isn't really where they should go after drafting Kenneth Murray recently.
No, yeah, and that's the thing too. It's just like best player available.
It's just nothing. There's nothing there for you.
No, nothing at all.
Like you can't,
and then the third
really
round
go
pick.
edge.
Yeah, you can't go edge because we're solid now with Mac and Bosa. So yeah, he's just best player available. Jordan Davis was gone, so you go to Kobe Dean. You know, him and Kenneth Murray, they could tear it up. They did lose Kaiser White in free agency.
But I think it's a good pick. It's a good pick. It's not a great pick.
I'm not Kaiser White. I apologize. They lost Nwosu in free agency to my Seahawks. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that fills a need somewhere. And then our third round pick, Calvin Austin III. Although after looking at a lot of the quartables, I definitely would have wished I had picked Tyquan Thornton in this position. But nonetheless, I think Calvin Austin was a great pickup. Fast guy.
Something that they don't have, which is what you need.
Absolutely. I give your grade like an A-, and I give mine like a C+. Just because it's kind of hard to have an A draft without a second round pick.
I'll give you a C+ too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that wraps us up for the night. Thank you everyone who watched Mock Talk Live. We had a lot of fun. The draft is tomorrow. We'll have some streams after the draft talking about Shadow and Legacy Draft and stuff like that. So make sure you check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a really cool feature. We're going to get everyone in on it. Everyone's going to start doing it. So make sure you stick around after the draft. Check us out. Check out Shadow Drafting because it's the next big thing. So thank you very much, you guys. Everyone have a nice night. Thank you for joining me, Jonathan. You have a nice night too.
Of course, Patrick. Thank you very much. You guys have a great night. Thanks for watching.
See ya.